A desert planet with twin suns.
Why do I sense we've picked up another pathetic life form?
Use my knowledge. Much to learn. You still have.
Welcome back to Twin Sun Talks, folks. I'm your host, Jonah Liu. Thank you so much for listening, and welcome to this month's edition of The Ability to Speak Does Not Make You Intelligent.
The ability to speak does not make you intelligent.
On this month, I have two gentlemen from Two Bros, One Barbell, a very prominent up-and-coming fitness Instagram page. So the gentlemen in front of me are Daniel Espinosa. Daniel, how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
And then Mitchell Kuntz. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm ready to unleash my Star Wars knowledge.
Excellent stuff. Well, since this is both of y'all's first time on the podcast, I'm going to need a quick profile from both of y'all. So if you would both give me your favorite Star Wars movie, your favorite character, your favorite show, and then if you could have any lightsaber, what color would it be? Which one of y'all wants to start us out?
Let it rip, Daniel.
Okay, I got it. Favorite movie, Attack of the Clones.
Excellent.
The arena fight is dope in that one.
It is.
Favorite character, Yoda.
Good stuff.
Shows, I've only seen Clone Wars. I haven't finished it, but I've only seen pieces of it. What I saw, I liked.
Clone Wars
And
is great.
My lightsaber would be Cyan.
Cyan. Very unique. Very awesome. Canonized recently by Jedi Fallen Order, so I like that a lot.
Thank you.
Yes,
You
sir.
knew that.
Good stuff.
knew that,
Of course. Yeah, most definitely. Mitchell, how about you?
Okay, my favorite Star Wars movie is Rogue One.
Excellent.
I don't know if that's a hot take or not, but that one's
I mean,
smacked.
I love Rogue One. That's my second favorite, so I'm right there with you.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Seems like it wasn't a hot take then, so I'm off to a good start. My favorite character is the blind Asian dude from Rogue One.
Chirrut. Yeah. We love to
What's his
see it.
name? What's his name?
Chirrut.
Sure. Yeah. He kicked Boutte in at the end there, so he's my favorite
Excellent character. Strong choice.
I'm gonna upset all your listeners, but I have not watched any of the shows, so
Hey,
I don't have
all
a favorite
good.
show because I haven't watched them. And if I had to pick a lightsaber color, it would be the dark saber.
Okay. It's very interesting that you choose the dark saber without watching any of the shows, because that is something that is exclusive to the shows. So could you speak more to why you choose the dark saber?
It's black and it's offbeat. Nobody uses it.
That's very fair. Do you know, just a follow-up, do you know what the dark saber symbolizes within the Star Wars mythos?
No idea. Can I tell you my thought process behind it?
Of course, yeah.
So I feel like most of like the fight scenes in the Star Wars movies happen in like dark, secluded areas.
Yeah, okay.
But there's always like a monologue that happens before any like the major fight scenes, right?
Yeah.
So theoretically, that's not strategical or tactical at all. So
Yeah.
if you have the black saber, you can sneak up. Your blade is not going to light up the room whatsoever. You've got the black sword, black lightsaber. It doesn't have any light. Sneak attack. It's the stealthiest one.
That is a fair assumption for someone who hasn't seen it. It does have light. It has a ring of light.
It's still a lightsaber. I'm done.
It has a it has a ring of light around it, but that is a very fair a fair assumption to make. Yeah, but yeah, no, it has like a white out. It's almost like a black hole, where it has like the ring of light around it.
Okay. Either way, it looks cool, so I'm rocking with it.
It does look cool. I can confirm. Well, that's very fair. Two very unique lightsabers that I don't think anyone else has chosen. So good stuff there. Alrighty. Well, I just have Mitchell and Daniel on because I know them from college. All of us are in a student ministry called RUF. They led a Bible study that I was in this past school year. So they're very good friends of mine, and I wanted to have them on the pod. And I'll ask both of y'all a question. Could y'all like rank y'all's Star Wars knowledge on the scale of like 1 to 10, 1 being dog, and then 10 being like better than me? Just to give people context for what's in store for the rest of the episode.
I will give myself 1 higher than whatever number Daniel's gonna pick.
I was gonna say the same thing. If in true knowledge of just like straight facts, I'm probably like a 3, but in terms of winging a conversation and pretending I know, I got like a 7 or an 8.
Good stuff. Good
Okay,
stuff.
that's fair. Daniel's got me beat in the second category. I feel like I got him beat in general Star Wars knowledge.
Okay.
So
Well, this is going to be a fun episode then. And I'm not entirely sure where it's going to go, but we're going to have a good time. So without further ado, let's dive into This Is Where the Fun Begins.
This is where the fun begins.
Alrighty. So like I mentioned earlier in the podcast, Mitchell and Daniel both run a fitness page on Instagram and TikTok. And so if you would, why don't you give a quick plug, or let's talk as long as you want, actually. And just explain what y'all do, what y'all are about. And yeah, whichever one of y'all wants to go.
yeah, I can take it. Yeah, so we're on Instagram. Our account's called Two Bros One Barbell. It is a gym bro ploy on the Two Girls One Cup video from a couple of years ago. The content does not align at all. No need to be worried there.
Which is good.
Just a funny name. But yeah, me and Daniel got pretty serious about the gym about a year ago. I'll let Daniel talk a little bit about maybe his fitness journey a little bit. But both of us were kind of actually at opposite ends of the spectrum. I was a bit of a twig and wanted to put on some size. Daniel had too much size, wanted to slim down, kind of the opposite end, but I'll let him talk about that. So I guess the method that we chose to kind of hit our goals was through the gym, through weightlifting. We follow mostly bodybuilding splits. We don't do any powerlifting or anything like that. But over the course of mostly last summer and then the couple months that followed after that up until now, we just kind of have fallen in love with the gym. It's something that we do mostly for fun, not even really like a chore or something that has to get done. And I feel like that's how a lot of people view exercise. But for us, I think it really is just like an hour and a half of the day. That's just like, it's a good time, especially when we do it together. We noticed we were kind of different than a lot of people that normally hit the gym. A lot of people take it like super seriously and I don't know, almost get like angry or mad in the gym and use that as like fuel. But we really just kind of, I don't know, we go hard, but we kick back and have a good time. We laugh a lot. And our content reflects that pretty heavily. There's a lot of, I don't know, shenanigans going on in our videos that we post on Instagram. So we'll post either some of our workouts, funny moments, relatable things for people that go to the gym, people that work out. And ultimately, it's kind of a cool tool to track our progress as we go too. So I'll let Daniel add on to that.
Love it.
Yeah. So yeah, Mitchell covered most of it. Yeah, no, I started significantly overweight, so I wanted to make a change, and Mitchell just started getting in the gym because he wanted to put on some size. So we kind of walked through that journey together, which was really cool, getting to have somebody to be there with you and like continue to go to the gym and like help you be motivated. It started off most days I definitely didn't want to. I think some days Mitchell didn't really want to go to the gym. We ended up falling in love with it, like he said. Love going. Love helping other people find their love for the gym or start going to the gym. We really enjoy getting to help people figure out what they should be eating or what kind of split they should use, those kind of things. So we post some helpful content. But we also do a lot of just funny reels videos, stuff that happens to us in the gym, or things that we think that's really funny about the gym that happens. Like Mitchell can tell you, in the span of one gym session, I will pee upwards of 15 times because I just bring a whole gallon water jug with me. So we make content about that, just other things that happen to us at the gym. So yeah, that's basically what we do. So if you guys love juicy oh no. I knew I should.
All right, what was that?
If you love juicy, thick-thighed gym bros, you should follow us.
Love it. Love it.
I feel like that, including the laugh and Daniel wetting himself, I feel like that was a pretty accurate representation of our page. So,
and y'all have very quality content, and it's been really fun. I've gotten to work with both of y'all, and make some content together. We've made a few reels, and y'all have been featured. If any of my listeners have been keeping track of my reels and shorts, then you probably see Mitchell and Daniel a couple of times. And it's been really fun. Y'all have been really helpful with both kind of helping me figure out how to dive into that side of making content, but also y'all have been really helpful in getting me into the gym, helping me out, figure out some workouts, and really been really encouraging and stuff like that. So I really appreciate y'all for doing that. But yeah, I appreciate y'all also just sending me reels and being like, hey, you should try this out, and just being there and being able to bounce off ideas of y'all on that side of stuff has been really, really, really cool. So I would encourage all of my listeners to go check out Two Bros One Barbell. They really have some fun content that I think is probably the most relatable gym content that I could find. So I mean, go give it a listen. But I'd like to transition unless y'all have anything else that y'all want to add.
No, I'm all good.
I was gonna
All
say
good.
to piggyback off that too. Jonah is featured on multiple reels on our page. So for all of the
It's true.
hardcore Twin Sun Talks fans, go check it out.
It's part of my journey, man. Yeah,
Heck yeah.
no, it's over there. Yes, most definitely. And then, yeah. So my first question for y'all is: do y'all think that y'all could outlift Ben Swolo?
Yes.
Wait, who is it? Who is it?
Ben Swolo is it's a meme from The Last Jedi, where Kylo Ren, aka Ben Solo, is shirtless and
Yeah.
is just absolutely thick in every meaning of the word. Okay, do you have a mental image of that, Mitchell?
No, yeah, no, I know what image you're talking about. Yeah,
Yeah.
probably depends on the lift. I think I could take him.
I mean, hey, Adam Driver is a Marine, or was a Marine. So you think he could outlift a Marine or just Ben Swolo in general?
Huh? That hurts my chances a little bit. Give me a few months.
Okay, that's fair. Fair enough. But I mean, do y'all have any Star Wars memes that kind of overlap with fitness at all that y'all would like to plug?
I think
That's
the
just
coolest one is the one we made. That's like the best like Star Wars overlap that I've seen with the hello there. I think that one's
yes.
pretty good.
We recreated the infamous Kenobi hello there scene with barbells.
Yeah.
Which it's excellent. It flopped on Instagram, but I mean it kind of it did pretty well on YouTube for me. I think it did pretty well on TikTok for y'all, right?
Yeah, it was a weird thing where Instagram just let us down. But yeah.
Well, that being said, go watch it on Instagram on both of our accounts
Yeah.
and boost it a little bit. That'd be pretty dope. But yeah, no, I think that is rather excellent. Well, if we want to transition, I have a few Star Wars themed gym products that I would love to pitch to y'all and see if y'all would want to go. Like if someone approached y'all like as a sponsor with one of these products, like would y'all want to, or would you like invest in this product or use this product basically? So the first thing I have is Pal Protein Powder, which is the tagline would be unlimited power when you're trying to get yoked. And I'd love to hear y'all's thoughts about that.
So wait, is the question, would we take a sponsorship from these products or would we buy them?
Either.
We'll take a sponsorship from anybody at this point. So.
That's fair. Same here. So maybe more is, more so, would you buy them?
Dana, what do you think? Palpatine.
For me, the name's pretty sick. It all depends on the macros for me, though. So.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, what if it had like the best macros? I still don't fully understand what macros mean, but like it just has the best of them.
If it has the best of the macros, then I'm there.
I'm buying. Yeah, then I'm buying it.
Yeah. Good stuff. Alrighty, as an investment opportunity, I'm thinking about opening up a workout facility called the Qui-Gon Gym. Basically, our slogan is "Your focus determines your gains." What are your thoughts?
I actually kind of like these crossover ideas.
Qui-Gon Gym.
Yeah.
You could turn this into an entire business.
I know.
Just blend all of them together.
You could sell Pal Protein Powder at the Qui-Gon Gym. I mean,
are tanked Jedi robes allowed at the Qui-Gon Gym?
I think that you can wear whatever you would like as long as it's it doesn't break any cause any misdemeanors or anything like that, then I think you're fine.
That's ideal. That's ideal. You gotta watch out for Daniel. You gotta watch out for Daniel on those.
Yeah.
But yeah, no,
I think that tank Jedi robes are definitely allowed. Fair game.
You can catch me at the Qui-Gon gym with a tank Jedi robe for sure.
Excellent stuff. Okay, next up we have Admiral Ak Barbell, which is essentially it's a line of barbells that the slogan is it's a trap and a lat and a bicep. So would y'all use Admiral Ak barbells?
Oh yeah, that sounds sick.
Would y'all use those in a new logo for your Two Bros One barbell? Would you use an Ak barbell in a new logo?
What does an Ak barbell look like?
It looks like it just has Admiral Akbar's face on either side instead of a weight. He's the guy that kind of looks like a goldfish.
Yeah, that guy's sick.
No, I'm down. I'm down for sure.
Good stuff. I'll hold y'all to that. Okay, excellent. And there will be Admiral Ak barbells at the Qui-Gon gym where you can buy Pal protein powder, of course. The next thing I have is the Anakin Speedwalker, where you have to beware the runner's high, parentheses ground, and don't underestimate its power. It's a treadmill, and that's about it. Thoughts?
I don't know about Mitchell. It's been a long time since I've really done treadmill cardio. I should probably start that back up. But yeah.
Would y'all start up cardio?
No, I haven't done it in a while.
I did it yesterday. Wait, no, I didn't. We lifted it. I did 3 days ago. I didn't do it yesterday.
Good stuff, Mitchell.
Good stuff indeed. But would you start up cardio again if it was on an Anakin Speedwalker?
As long as I
if it's a Speedwalker,
I would keep it.
Ooh, yeah, I can't top that. Good answer.
That's fair. That's a very good point. I guarantee a runner's high ground. But yeah, no. What were you saying, Mitchell?
No, I like Daniel's answer better than mine.
Okay,
yeah, I'll be more inclined to actually hit cardio if it's on the Anakin treadmill. I'm there.
Okay, and keep in mind the Anakin Speedwalker will also be alongside the Admiral Ak barbells at the Qui-Gon gym where you can buy Pal protein powder. And then our last thing is it's an energy drink, and it's called Obi-Wan More Rep, where in the slogan is this is the pre-workout you're looking for. So would y'all use Obi-Wan More Rep before you worked out at the Qui-Gon gym?
Jonah, I think you should seriously consider just dumping all of the money you have in savings into developing these ideas. Just take out a massive loan, go all in on the Qui-Gon gym.
I appreciate that. Hey, I appreciate that. No, I mean I'm heavily considering it. I was coming up with these the other day, and I mean they just kept flowing from my mind. So I mean, hey, if y'all think that I got a business, then I will definitely consider that. But do y'all have any Star Wars themed products that you would enjoy? Or give me another product, and I'll try to make a Star Wars spin out of it. Either one.
Okay, that's all right. Oh, man. We tried to buy you the Boba Fett shaker cup. That's not it's just got the logo.
Yeah, that's fair.
What about like a bench or a squat rack?
Squat rack. Ooh. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. 1 second. Bench press. No. Don't have anything there. Squat rack. Don't have anything there either. I'm not gonna lie. But still don't have anything. But we will have those at the Qui-Gon gym, and there will be a pun associated with them when you arrive. So, yeah, but not off the top of my head. Micah Coleman, shout out to Micah. He wanted us to rate deltoids based on how much they look like the Death Star. I don't have any with me, or any images, but like, what are y'all's like? Is that a goal of y'all's at all?
Have delts that look like the Death Star?
Yeah.
I would appreciate some more massive belts. So I mean, yeah, I'm gonna.
That's fair. Respect.
Death Star delts is just a cooler way to say boulder shoulders at the end of the day, I feel like.
Yeah.
That
a
is
little bit
fair.
more themed. So,
And
yes.
hey, I respect that. And you could get your Death Star delts at the Qui-Gon gym, where you can purchase Pal protein powder as well as Obi-Wan more reps, and you can use Admiral Act barbells and Anakin Speedwalkers. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, do y'all have any other thoughts on my products, or do y'all want to pivot a little bit?
I was thinking Qui-Gon Gym, right? That's so close to quad. I've been trying the whole time to think of how I could be like Quad-Gon.
Quad-Gon.
Quad gone. You don't want the quads to be
I
gone.
was gonna say.
Right, that was the predicament I kept running into. I was like, it's so close, but I want to keep my quads. I don't want to lose my
Ooh.
quads.
Quad. I'm trying to think if there's. I mean, quad jumpers are a thing in Star Wars as a type of ship.
Quad jump
that could-
gym.
Quad jump gym. That just completely eliminated any meaning of Qui-Gon gym from my gym. So, but quad jumper could be our squat machine though.
That could be.
Yeah, the quad jumper.
Don't.
What about
add
hip
Dan
thrust?
to the business development team?
Wait, what was that, Daniel?
What about hip thrust?
Oh dear. Hip thrust. I'm trying to think of something with like hyper speed, but that's
Hans
light
some
speed.
hip thrusts.
There we go.
You say?
Hans handsome hip thrusts.
You just took a random Star Wars term and added it to a random gym term. That doesn't count.
That's okay. That's better than anything I have.
The
So
other one creative on Two Bros, One Barbell team, bro. I need to know.
I think it's easier if we take a Star Wars term and make it a gym thing. Give us
Okay.
a Star Wars term.
let's think about this. Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah, that doesn't correlate at all.
Darth Vader.
Darth Vader. I feel like it can't be a character.
No,
characters
you got
are-
this. You got this.
Because that's going to be really unfortunate. Okay, there you go.
Jabba the Hutt or Darth Vader?
I'll keep thinking of some. If you want Darth Maul, there's another Darth.
Huh.
This is riveting content.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, there's got to be something. I don't know how you came up with so many of those in like.
I mean, I came up with in like the span of 2 days. So
Okay, still.
and also when you're on the spot, I mean that's a little unfortunate too. But that's okay. I'll if I come up with them throughout the episode, then I'll definitely bring them up. But Qui-Gon Jinn, a business idea in the works.
Big time.
Stay tuned.
Big collab.
Yeah, big collab indeed. That being said, I'll transition now into Star Wars versus everything else, and a little bit of context behind this segment. Essentially, it's me pitting Star Wars characters versus characters from other franchises. And Daniel is actually the guy who got me into Stranger Things recently. So I got on the Stranger Things train a couple weeks ago, or not a couple weeks ago, maybe like a month and a half ago, right before school ended, to kind of get caught up before the new season dropped, which I still haven't finished. But I have a couple themed Stranger Things themed Star Wars versus everything else questions that I want to throw at you, because I know, Mitchell, you're into it as well. So first off, I have Darth Vader versus a Demogorgon. Who do you think would win in that matchup? Darth Vader is armed with a lightsaber, and the Demogorgon is fully grown.
Question.
Yes.
Does a lightsaber have any similar properties to fire?
It has pretty similar properties, yes.
Then Vader will definitely win. Because the
That is fair.
Demogorgons, they don't mess with the fire. So I feel like he should take that one. What do you
Also,
think?
we're talking like Demogorgon season 1, right? So it's like the original.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Then
what I'm going for.
And I say Darth got it, because if L's got the Force power enough to kill one, I feel like Vader's probably got it.
That's actually
Did you
my
say
next
Darth
question.
What'd you say?
Did you say Darth guy?
I said,
That's
Okay,
fair. That's fair. Then my next question is actually Anakin Skywalker versus 11. Anakin does not have a lightsaber. It's just a Force versus whatever 11 has battle. So who do you think would win in that scenario?
Are we assuming the listeners have watched all of season 4 that's been released or no?
I mean, I haven't watched all of season 4, so I would appreciate no spoilers
Okay.
for that reason.
My answer was based around something like the last episode.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate.
Huh.
Well,
What do you think, Daniel?
I was gonna say, okay, Anakin's. See, Anakin was always strong, right? But obviously, when he went dark side, Darth Vader became a lot more powerful, right? Did a lot of things with the Force. So I think that if it's like a younger-ish Anakin, right? Obviously, before he
sure.
halfling incident, you know what I'm saying?
Young
I
Wing
think
is-
that maybe Elle has it.
Okay, interesting. I mean, that is very fair. Her power scaling is very confusing to me because, like, she can defeat the big smoky monster from the Upside Down, the Flare, but I don't know if that correlates to, like, just her connection to the Upside Down or if it's, like, you know what I mean? But that being said, I mean, Anakin is the chosen one. And actually, he was more powerful as Anakin than he was as Vader. So, um, just a couple little
got
corrections
pooped
there,
on.
but it's okay. It's okay. But that being said, I think that as a child, like whenever Anakin was 11's age, I'm sure that 11 would probably kill him. But
Yeah.
if we're talking like teenage Anakin and beyond, I mean, Elle gets she passes out after using her Force, quote unquote, for like an extended period of time, whereas that does not happen to Anakin. So I think that as a child, like young Anakin, like Anakin and Phantom Menace versus 11 in like season 1, then yeah, 11 wins. But if it's
Yeah.
like teenage Anakin versus 11,
Okay, see, but here's my question.
think so.
See,
okay,
because the way the Stranger Things frameworks the show is she's she's way more violent with it, where she can just smush your brain essentially.
yes,
And you're donezo.
yeah,
Right.
that's fair.
So I don't know if the Force would work the same way, right? Because
Yeah,
that's if she can just smush your brain, there's not much you can do, right?
that is
I think it's
very fair.
harder to scale that.
Yeah. No, that's very fair. I mean, I would think because like the reason that Jedi are like immune to like Jedi mind tricks and stuff is because they sort of have like a protective barrier around themselves.
Gotcha.
That's why it's a lot harder to force choke, like for a force user to like force choke another force user. They have sort of have that defense mechanism up, which kind of prevents that from happening. So I'm not entirely sure if that would correlate to something like 11's powers because it's very similar, but it's obviously not the same thing because it's not the force.
Mm-hmm.
It's like unique to her. So I think it would depend on whether or not she adhered by a similar rule. I would assume that that would be the case because it's a physical attack. It's not like a mental attack,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I would assume that someone like Anakin would be able to prevent against an attack like that. But honestly, I'm not entirely sure.
Gotcha.
So I'd say it would probably depend on that as well. Yeah, because she's pretty.
Yeah.
It's pretty violent.
Yeah, she's just way more violent with it, right? You don't see
Yeah.
Jedi's doing the same thing, right? Even
You do see Vader doing it though, so
Force choke.
I mean,
right? So
yeah. But the thing with Vader, like if you paired up Vader against 11, like she could destroy his like arms and legs
right.
pretty easily because his arms and legs are mechanical. So I mean, she could like just like wrap him up in a little ball, and that would be just really unfortunate. So, and like just destroy his like life support system that he has with the suit anyways. So that's why I feel like Vader might be even more susceptible to 11 than Anakin. But
Gotcha.
Vader is more brutal, so who knows? I mean, and he does kill children as well, so who's to say at the end of the day? But okay, moving on. Well, actually, so I'm just going to go back to the Demogorgon thing. Do you think the Demodogs would have any, like, because I know that a lightsaber would still affect them the same way as they affect the Demogorgon, but in like the sheer numbers of the Demodogs, do you think that would be any different against someone like Vader? than like just a straight up
Can
Demogorgon.
can a Force user use the Force on multiple objects at the same time, or is it only
Yes.
one?
Yeah, multiple. I mean, the limit to a Force user's ability is like essentially their ability to concentrate, but as well as like they like someone like Vader could, yes.
I feel like he'd probably still take him
Yeah.
if he can like use the Force on multiple demidogs at the same time.
Yeah, that's
I
fair.
feel like he would have like the concentration and the ability to. I mean, I guess it depends on the number,
Yeah.
but I feel like it would take a lot.
I feel like the Demodogs would have a better chance than a straight up Demogorgon, though. Would you agree?
Yeah, that's probably fair. I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I wish that I knew more about Vecna because I feel like he would be a pretty interesting one to pair up against somebody, but I don't really know anything. I've watched 2 episodes, so
Okay, that's what I was gonna say. That would have been an interesting matchup, but
yeah.
I feel like you don't really know enough about him until like after episode 7. So you haven't seen it either, have you, Danny?
No, I still only finished 5. I got 2 more.
Yeah, seven's an awesome episode.
I look forward to it.
Until the
I'll
last
watch it eventually. I'm bad about watching TV shows, but
That's fair.
I don't know. I don't feel like we really ever learn anything about the Mind Flayer, so I feel like it's hard to like pair him up against somebody. Just because I feel like he's left pretty ambiguous. Like he controls the armies, but he doesn't actually like physically do too much. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like he's a little more difficult. Can y'all think of any other pairings before we move on to another episode or to another matchup from in the context of Stranger Things? Because I'm going to be moving away from that. Moving away from that after this.
Is there any like Steve equivalent in the Star Wars universe?
Maybe like a Han Solo, but I feel like Han would take that pretty handily.
Yeah, he's got a gun. Pretty easily.
I mean, hey, Steve's got a bat, and
That's
Robin.
true.
So
He's kind of
who's to say?
useless.
Yeah, no, Steve. Yeah, I don't know. That's the closest thing that I got though is Han.
That's fair.
But that being said, Daniel, I know that you're into Marvel stuff. Mitchell, how extensive is your Marvel knowledge? Would you say?
I've seen. I feel like all of the movies that have come out, besides maybe 1 or 2. So I feel like I'm pretty good.
Okay,
I don't know anything outside of the movies really, but
that's fair.
good.
Well, this one does have to do with the movies, and it's Boba Fett versus Iron Man. So, Daniel, what are your thoughts on that matchup?
Okay, are we talking like Iron Man, like right before the snap and the last Avengers movie? Are we talking like Iron Man 1, like in terms of like level of suit?
Let's say like Age of Ultron level suit. So it's like kind of a midpoint between the very end and so it's not the nanotechnology, but it's like
Right.
a pretty functional, very tactical suit, like very strong, can hold up against a meteor crashing down on him. That sort of suit.
Yeah. I think it's very dependent on how the Iron Man suit can hold up against a blaster. Because you see it in like the Avengers and all that stuff. It takes bullets, it takes like alien tech, it takes all kinds of stuff. No problem. So if it takes that kind of same stuff from a blaster, I definitely give it to Iron Man. Because I don't think you see any kind of armor like that really in the Star Wars universe where it can hold on like against that much, especially because Iron Man has so much firepower. So based on that, I think that's going to come down to it. If the blaster's like effective, then I think it's going to be a very close matchup because they both have really good firepower at that point.
Yeah.
But also, I think Iron Man's mobility is better because it's not just a jetpack. Where if Iron Man just takes out Boba Fett's jetpack, it becomes very lopsided. But because he has blasters on 4 locations, I think he's able to probably win that matchup.
That's fair. Mitchell, do you have any thoughts?
No, I think I agree with Daniel. I don't think that one's actually too close. They're like similar in like, I guess like basic abilities, but I feel like Iron Man just has so many more resources that one's not going to be too close.
That's fair. Well, the thing is, I think Boba Fett's armor could probably hold up to most of what Iron Man would throw at it, just because it's made of this material called Beskar, which if you,
Mhm.
it's basically Star Wars' vibranium.
Okay.
So if you
Oh,
watch The
interesting.
Mandalorian, then you learn a bit more about that. But so Boba's armor holds up against blaster fire as well. I would assume that Iron Man's would, simply because I would equate what Boba would have to like the aliens, the Chitauri, and the first Avengers movie.
Mhm.
Um,
Right.
so we see Iron Man hold up against those. So I would assume that most of what Boba would have would be pretty similar. I would really say that it depends on which Boba it is. If it's like Boba, like Empire Strikes Back Boba versus Book of Boba Fett Boba, I think it's a different story. I think Book of Boba Fett Boba gets decimated by Iron Man, just because he was quite the softy, which I know neither of y'all have watched Book of Boba Fett yet, but uh, Empire Strikes Back and like that sort of Imperial era of Boba, I mean, he was pretty ruthless and pretty like I think even grounded would have a pretty good chance. Like if even if Iron Man took out his jetpack, I think he would have a pretty good chance of winning and being able to disable Iron Man pretty systematically and just kind of like take him down at like just be able to eliminate all of his like mobility kind of point by point until it would be like a hand to hand match, which I think Boba wins pretty easily. But I think it really depends on where it happens and how prepared Iron Man is for it. Um, so I'm not entirely sure, but I'd say it would be dependent on Boba's state at the time, but I could see it going either way. But I might lean towards Boba if it's the Imperial era.
Do you think he still wins if Iron Man has the is it what's the big suit called?
The
Hulkbuster.
Hulkbuster suit.
Yeah, if he's got that, who wins?
I mean, the Hulk took it out pretty easily. Like I don't like it. It was effective enough against the Hulk. Like it did its job, but at the same time, I think that the Hulk was more um, resilient to its effects than Iron Man anticipated. But at the same time, I think that it has enough heavy armor around it that I think that Iron Man would be able to outlast Boba at that point. So I think that it would be less of a question of like battle prowess and skill more than it would be like a question of, I mean, I just don't think that Boba has anything that would be able to take Iron Man down fast enough in a Hulkbuster suit before he got obliterated. So, yeah, just because I mean
Yeah.
it's
And I think
got a lot. What? Go for it.
yeah. I was gonna say I think Age of Ultron. I think that's after Iron Man 3. I don't remember the timeline of that. Iron Man 3 might be after, but it's pretty close
It's
after if it is.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and at that point he has the like where he can jump in like multiple suits, right? So at that point it makes Boba Fett's job a lot harder. Is if he can just jump into a new suit of armor. Like Boba Fett doesn't have the
Yeah.
capacity to switch like that, right? So if he has all those
Yeah.
suits, it makes life a lot more difficult.
That is very fair. But I mean, at the end of Iron Man 3, he does destroy all of those suits.
True.
So it depends on how much of an arsenal he has built. And that also goes back to like, it depends on whether or not this happens like on Earth, where he has that arsenal at his disposal, or if it happens like in the Star Wars galaxy. So, so yeah. I'll ask y'all this question. I've asked it before, but I always find it to be an interesting question. Do y'all think that Thanos with a full Infinity Gauntlet, or let's say five out of 6 stones, can defeat Anakin Skywalker at full potential, where he's like the most powerful Force user possible, versus Thanos with a nearly complete Infinity Gauntlet? What do y'all think?
Then what do you think? You take it.
That is a tough question, Jonah.
I know, that's why I like asking it.
Because I honestly think in the both the Avengers movies with Thanos, I think they made him stronger than he is, right? I think realistically, Vision could have easily killed him if you're talking like comics, right? Like an actual power scale. So
Yeah.
I think Thanos is pretty overrated. That being said, being able to go back in time, alter reality. All those things are pretty nice things to be able to do. So if you're getting popped in a fight, you can just go back 30 minutes, right? So it's like all those things are definitely don't want to downplay any of those because
Yeah.
they're pretty OP. But again, Anakin at full potential with the ability he would have with just with the Force alone, right? It's just makes it tough because then it's like if at any point he can just chop off our boy's hand, it's GG's, right? So it really comes down to like how quickly Thanos really starts using all those stones. If he just starts like trying to throw hands, Anakin can cut his hand off and it's pretty much donezo at that point. So I don't know. I guess I might have to swing Anakin for that reason because in like a lot of Thanos' fights, he didn't really use the gems that much. He kind of went a lot of hand to hand, like shot stuff at people. And if that's the case, I mean, Iron Man got in a ton of good licks on him, and so did a lot of the other Avengers, right? And he got hit by Stormbreaker pretty good. Didn't go all the way through, but I assumed that a lightsaber would do the trick. So for that reason, I probably have to give it to Anakin.
That's a fair assumption.
But so I think I got to give it to Anakin. I think it'd be close. It'd be very dependent on how Thanos used the gauntlet because it's also like that's not his weapon of choice, right? When he comes back in Infinity War, he has this little swordy thing, and he fights better with it because it's his weapon of choice. But I'd probably give it to Anakin.
Very fair. Mitchell, anything to add?
No, I think you're right in the sense that like if it gets down to like a hand-to-hand combat fight at all, which Thanos typically like it leans toward, it seems like in the movies, then I think Anakin wins in a heartbeat. But I think it depends also like how effective the Force is against the powers of the stones.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly how that matchup would work out. But being able to use the stones to alter time and alter reality, I don't know how that affects the Force too. So I think that's something that definitely could be playing towards Thanos' advantage. I think that it heavily depends on that. Because if he uses the stones effectively, I think he should win. But if he does what he normally does and then tries to take his big sword and just kind of tough it out in hand-to-hand combat, I think he's going to lose pretty easily. So
most definitely. And that's actually a really interesting point. And that was what I was going to ask y'all next, because this is my argument about like what decides that fight essentially. And it's whether or not, because like in the Marvel mythos, and we're just going to assume that both of these universes coexist within the same like universe for this hypothetical. In the Marvel universe, the stones create the flow of reality basically. And so my question would be, is the Force what created the stones, or is the Force something that's created by the stones in that flow of reality? Because if the Force created the stones, I would assume that the Force would have some sort of dominion over them, right? Whereas like if the stones create the Force and it's kind of their flow of reality, then I would assume that Thanos would therefore have some level of control over the Force and would therefore be able to probably beat Anakin regardless of how great his power was, right? So what do y'all have to say about that postulate? Does that make sense? I don't know if that made sense.
Yeah.
I kind of talked in a circle.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I think based on if you're looking at just the MCU and if you have to converge the two, I think you probably have to make the assumption that the Force created the stones. Yeah. Because Thanos destroys all the stones, so it wouldn't be possible to. If it was the other way around, it wouldn't be possible to like break it the other way around. If that makes sense. The power scale would have to be the other way. So I think if you take it into consideration, then that means the Force had to create the stones, right? Which means that Thanos doesn't have an advantage in terms of Force power. I guess the other thing that I think like has a weight in the fight is, I guess, do you just assume that a lightsaber cuts through vibranium, right? Or that cuts through like, Captain America's shield, Thanos' sword, all that stuff. Like, you just assume that it cuts it like butter. Like what is the assumption there? Because that's obviously a big question, right? Because if it's like comes in a like sword fight, but it can block it and like actually goes well against it, then that's gonna make Anakin's job a lot tougher.
Most definitely. And yeah, and I would say so Thanos' sword is made out of Uru, which is the same thing that Thor's hammer is made out of.
Yeah.
And we actually see obviously Thanos' sword cuts Cap's shield.
Right.
So his sword is more powerful than vibranium.
Uh-huh.
And like Uru is like the metal of the gods, right? So it's like it's probably the most powerful substance in the Marvel universe. Whereas a lightsaber can't cut through, at least not immediately. It can't cut through Beskar, which is the vibranium of Star Wars. But that's also because vibranium is energy absorbent. So it would just depend on how quickly a lightsaber could get Uru to its melting point.
Gotcha.
Right.
Yeah.
So, because a lightsaber effectively creates the amount of energy that a sun puts out, which means, first of all, no one should be able to wield one ever, because they should just be vaporized instantly whenever one gets activated, like within a couple 100-kilometer radius.
Right.
But also, in a not like practical sense, eventually it will cut through anything as long as it's like it like is exposed to it for a long enough time. But I don't know that. I'm sure that a lightsaber could cut through Thanos' arm, though. So if he ever got a lick there, then that's GG's right there.
Yep, GG's.
Mitchell, you got anything to add?
No, not really. A lot of that was beyond my Marvel and Star Wars knowledge. So.
That's very fair. I would encourage y'all to watch The Mandalorian, though. I think that both of y'all would really enjoy it. So, and that's a very easy show to watch. Like, I would say that it definitely enhances your experience if you've watched other stuff. But I would say that that's the best show for people to watch if you don't know as much about Star Wars, because it's a really fantastic show. It's very palatable for people that haven't watched a bunch of stuff. So I would recommend that to both of y'all, because I think that y'all would both really enjoy it. And there's Darksaber content, of course, Mitchell. So
all right,
it's always a plus.
I'm here for it.
But yeah, that being said, that's about all that I have for this segment. Do y'all have anything else to add, or do y'all want to go into the quiz?
Bring it. I'm kicking Daniel's butt.
Wait, real quick. Jonah.
Yeah.
Jonah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Scarlet Witch. Anakin.
Okay. Scarlet Witch versus Anakin. That's an excellent. Is it Scarlet Witch as seen in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness?
Yeah.
Okay. That's a very interesting question. So Scarlet Witch has the ability to effectively alter reality with her. So she basically is a reality stone in and of herself, like a more concentrated reality stone. So I think that it would really come down to how quickly Anakin can act. Is this like full potential Anakin? Okay. How quickly Anakin can act, and how arrogant he is going in. Because if he's like, spoilers for Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness, if he's like the Illuminati going in where they're like, oh, we can handle her, and then they just get demolished just right off the bat, then I mean, he has no shot. But if he goes in with like a certain measure of knowledge about how to fortify his mind, which he should be able to do with the Force, and B, have some measure of and it also depends. I think that if she's going full ham, I think that she has the potential to eliminate or like destroy the entire universe, right? So if that's the case, I don't think that Anakin has any sort of shot, or I don't think anybody has any sort of shot against something like that. Whoa.
My bad.
No, you're good. But if she's being like a little reasonable, like she said in the movie, and a little more moralistic about how she approaches the fight, then I think Anakin might have a shot. But if she's going full ham, then there's no way anyone can defeat her, I don't think. But what do you think?
Interesting. Yeah, no, I have, yeah. I think similar thoughts. Jeez, like the power still got busted after that movie dropped. I questioned everything. I don't understand where was she during Infinity War? She could have just popped everybody. But
I mean, she didn't have the level of knowledge that she
Right.
had in that movie though, so she
Yeah.
didn't have that level of control. But
right,
but no, that's a very good point. But yeah, no, she kind of broke everything with how powerful she was in that movie.
right. Yeah, because
So
I mean, it was Captain Marvel, and then she bodied the other version of Captain Marvel.
yeah,
So,
yeah, it's quite unfortunate. But I mean, hey, I still think that that's the best scene from the movie. So
it's pretty good.
um, it's excellent. But yeah, no, Mitchell, final thoughts.
No, I'm ready for the quiz.
Alrighty.
Let's do it.
Well, without further ado, let's dive into the rank of master.
You are on this council, but we do not grant you the rank of master.
Alrighty, so if this is your first time listening to the podcast, then essentially what the rank of master is that every time I have a guest on, I give them a quick 3-question quiz. You start as a youngling, then if you pass the quiz, you move up to Padawan, then to knight, then to master. Once you are a master, then you can challenge whoever the reigning grandmaster is for that title. And Mitchell, Daniel, y'all are both younglings, so this is your first time on the podcast. Y'all both have the same quiz in that case. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ask the question. I'm gonna have y'all text me the answer, and then I'll have y'all say your answers out loud whenever you're done. And if you don't know the answer to a question, then I would encourage that you try to give some context around some topics in Star Wars that you know might be kind of similar to or like related to whatever the question is. Because I try to cater to people who know about Star Wars in general, not just specific things. So I acknowledge that some of these questions might be more specific than people have knowledge of. But if you want context, you can ask. I may or may not give it. And much like the real Jedi Council, I will let my personal opinions and biases of you as a person sway my decision on whether to let you to the next rank or not. So with that being said, do y'all have any questions?
No, bring it.
All right, good stuff. So question number 1. How does Darth Vader defeat the Emperor in Return of the Jedi, Episode 6? And so just go ahead and send me your answers before you answer. And then I will just filibuster until both of y'all are in. And
Are we talking about like the methodology of how he defeats him, or like the end result?
I mean, either, both.
Okay.
I don't know. You can answer either way. But yeah, I said defeats because obviously we know he doesn't actually.
Ignore the
Okay.
last part.
I've sent my answer with the most precise terminology that I know.
Good stuff, Daniel.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, I got both of y'all's answers. Mitchell, why don't you go first? Just
Oh, I have to read my own answer?
Well, you don't have to read it word for word, but I have your answer, both of y'all's answers, so you can say it however you want. But
I'll just read how I texted Jonah, I guess.
okay.
I texted Jonah. He pushes him down a giant tube after going ham.
Which is a very fair answer. Daniel, why don't you give me yours?
I said that he picks him up and he yeets his booty, and he falls.
Great.
That
So we
is
both
true.
use technical terminology here.
Very technical, and y'all were both correct. So y'all are both 1 for 1 going into question number 2. That was very excellent, and I do appreciate it. And Daniel, you did do an excellent thing where he said he yeets him to his death, which is not true. But then he said, "JK, he didn't die," which is true.
I was going to
as well.
say,
So
send him back to Youngling.
good stuff, Daniel. Good stuff indeed. Okay, y'all are both 1 for 1 going into question number 2. What color is Mace Windu's lightsaber? So just go ahead and text
Bam.
thine answers. And okay, we got Daniel in. Just waiting on Mitchell. And I'll ask y'all a follow-up question because I don't know if
I'm in.
Good stuff, Mitchell. Okay. Daniel, since you were the first one to text, I'll let you go first.
It's a purple boy.
It is a purple boy. And Daniel, what form of lightsaber combat does does Mace Windu practice?
That would be gangster style. My friend.
Of course. Of course. Anyways, that being said, Mitchell, why don't you give your answer?
I also said Purple Boy. However, because I am an avid Twins and Talks Reels follower, I also
Yes.
said that the hilt of his lightsaber is made of a unique gold material, of which the name I do not know.
That is correct. That is called Electrum, which is very, very true. And I appreciate the shout out there. That was my first ever reel. And y'all are both correct. It is a purple lightsaber, and I appreciate the extra context from Mitchell.
Kiss Bob Mitchell.
But yes. Hey, I mean, it works. So anyways, y'all are both 2 for 2 going into the final question, which is who kills Supreme Leader Snoke in Episode 8, The Last Jedi?
Dang it, dude, I haven't seen this one.
I got it.
I'm getting sent back to Youngling.
Hey, it's all good. It's all good. Mitchell. Okay. You haven't watched The Last Jedi, Mitchell?
No, I haven't watched any of the new ones outside the first 6 besides Rogue One.
That's actually probably the way to do it. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
But okay. Well, Mitchell, I'll let you go first. What is your answer?
I've taken a stab in the dark and I put Rey.
That is very fair. Well, Daniel, what's your answer?
It was in fact Ben Swolo.
It was Ben Swolo.
Unlucky.
He stabbed him when he didn't expect it. But yes. Do you know who Snoke is, Mitchell?
I know what he
Yeah,
looks like.
Yeah, he's kind of the old, deteriorating.
He's a
looking
bald
dude.
boy.
Yes, he is a bald boy. But yes, okay. So Daniel, you went 3 for 3. Mitchell, you went 2 for 3. Daniel, very decisive. You have earned the rank of Padawan. Mitchell, 2 for 3 is pretty solid. You haven't watched the sequels, which I won't hold against you. You knew what you knew from the movies that you've watched, and so for that reason, I think you also have earned the rank of Padawan. So congratulations to both of you. How do y'all
Thank you.
feel?
Can he be like junior Padawan or like
Hey.
assistant to the Padawan?
Hey,
You are-
pipe down.
You are a slightly more advanced Padawan, Daniel. If that makes you feel any better.
You know, I've been researching. I feel like I could jump to what's the next one after Padawan? Jedi.
Night.
No, it's night. Dingus, send him back to Youngling.
Okay, 2 for 3.
I mean, this won't count. This won't count for anything. But do y'all want to hear what Jeb's master questions were whenever he got the rank of master?
Yes.
Can we get his night questions?
No, I kind of want to do y'all's. I kind of want to do the master questions.
Yeah, run through it. I know all 3, guaranteed.
Okay. What is Ahsoka Tano's alias when working as an informant for the rebellion? Saw Gerrera and Cassian Andor also utilized this title.
I got it.
Okay.
That's
you can just
cap.
say it.
There's no, you
Oh,
don't.
it's the ghost.
Oh.
It is not. That is actually a solid guess. That is the ship name from Star Wars Rebels.
Oh, is it the Wanderer? I just read
it's
this.
not.
I know the answer. I don't remember.
It is not the Wanderer. It is it's Fulcrum.
I didn't know that.
Has this exposed us as people who do not listen to every podcast episode because we didn't know this?
I mean, technically, this has been in a podcast episode because Jeb had these questions back in I think it was January. So technically,
So we've been exposed.
apparently.
You have. I saw that one.
Who is the pod racer other than Anakin Skywalker whose pod stalls out before beginning the race in The Phantom Menace? It's Ben Quadraneros. And then moving on.
Dude, I was typing it.
Yeah. And then the last question is, what is the name of Kit Fisto's former Padawan who was slain by General Grievous in the Clone Wars? Daniel.
Tyler.
No.
Close.
No.
Very close. Do you know who I'm talking about, Daniel?
Repeat the question. I think so.
Who was the name of Kit Fisto? And Kit Fisto's the guy with like all the tentacles on his head with the green skin.
Yeah.
Kit Fisto's former Padawan who was slain by General Grievous during the Clone Wars. He is a Mon Calamari, so same species as Admiral Akbar, who is the namesake of Akbar bells, which are available at
I
the
feel like I should
Qui-Gon
actually
Jinn.
know this.
I don't think I know this one.
No, it's Nadarveb.
Nadarveb,
It's
no.
all good.
Is the name mentioned in the movie?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah. no
Name
clue.
is mentioned really only in that singular episode of the Clone Wars. So those are your master questions, though. So that's 2 ranks ahead of both of y'all.
I'm telling you,
But-
I have some knowledge up here. Mitchell, maybe
It's
I'll
fair.
ask you some
Here,
questions.
I'll give you a night question. What are the animals that the rebels ride on the ice planet of Hoth? Those little like
No, that's not the name.
the little like goat-looking things that they're
Yeah.
bipedal. They walk on 2 legs. They kind of look like rams or goats.
The one that they like sit inside of.
Yeah, Han puts Luke inside of them to keep him warm.
Yeah.
Cuts them open. They're called tauntauns. But
Man. I'll never forget.
but anyways,
now.
that being said, well, I mean, you're fine. Those didn't count for anything. So next time y'all come on, y'all will get a night quiz, and you can't go backwards. So don't worry. You're not gonna. You'll stay at Padawan if you don't get any of the questions right. But that being said, if we're about done here, this wouldn't be a proper episode if I didn't leave you with just a little bit more. So today I have, speaking of tauntauns, actually, there are more than 15 variations of tauntauns that have been identified within the Star Wars galaxy. So, little piece of useless Star Wars knowledge there. And I'm gonna give Mitchell and Daniel an opportunity to plug their Instagram account one last time before we close up. So, take it away, gentlemen.
Take it, Daniel. Let them know.
So yeah, just come follow the account, follow the journey, see our content, and then you can watch us shank our tauntauns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff, boys. Well, I really appreciate y'all coming on. This is a really fun time. Really appreciate you having a conversation with y'all, and let's do it again sometime.
Of course, buddy. Anytime. Thank you for having us on.
Of course,
Sounds good.
I'm ready to be my knight. So
Of course,
Are you ready?
I look forward to it. Well, that being said, make sure you follow Twin Sun Talks on Instagram and subscribe to us on YouTube, Twin Sun Talks Podcast, and follow us and listen wherever you get your podcasts. We're available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and other streaming platforms. And that is all. You've taken your first steps into a larger world. May the Force be with you, and I will see y'all in the next episode. Bye, friends.